Sucio Talk podcast. Sucio Talk, what's up? David Sucio here with you today, Monday. Starting to get a little bit more consistent on the drops over here. I know that missed a couple Mondays, but also I'm gonna start harping on that. Stop harping on that shit. I find that every time I make a mistake, or I've realized this in others too, you make a mistake and you just keep thinking about the mistake rather than moving on from it. And sometimes I think you get caught up looking back instead of looking forward where we should be going, where we're going inevitably. You know, they say that, what is it? Memory is the lowest form of reminiscing is the lowest form of conversation. So you got nothing new to say. So I try to constantly think in a forward manner, you know. But anyway, how the fuck are you? Chilling out here, Oakland. You know what it is. Sucio Talk podcast. Do the little intro one more time. Spoken word and the strength of it. Recently, you know, Kanye's been going around saying some crazy shit. And some people have been supportive of it, some people haven't. I saw that bullshit article headline about Dave Chappelle being for it when really it wasn't. It was more of a clickbait thing. So you really have to be careful with where you're consuming your information, because it could be written in a way that's biased and could dissuade you to think a certain way, persuade you to think a certain way. All right? So definitely watch out for that. Don't believe everything you read, you know? Don't believe everything you hear, but also don't believe everything you think. You might be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I still love myself, but I'm wrong a lot. Look at that Google. This Google dude popping up. Sometimes that shit does that out of nowhere. I accidentally pressed a button on my phone and the Google manager wanting to know what I need, right? But I don't use it because I'm paranoid of it still. Back in the day, I used to put tape on my webcam. Then everybody was like, yo, you're crazy. But then, what happened? Edward Snowden, right? They were looking at you through your little webcam hole there. They're listening to you. Every time you say some shit, and then you pick your phone up, you'll see an ad for the same shit you were talking about. You know, it's pretty known, common knowledge now that your phone and shit is just listening to you talk about podcasts. And Sucio Talk. Push Sucio Talk. use it to my advantage. So yeah, spoken word and the strength of it. So Kanye's been saying some shit, and then he was on the Lex Fridman podcast, and I love the thing that Lex Fridman said at the beginning of the show, because he said he wants to listen to all opinions, whether right or wrong. He wants to listen to people that think differently than him, because he wants to understand why they think differently. And he also calls shit out in a very non-offensive way, so the guests feel comfortable answering things that are not that comfortable to talk about. There's this side of humanity that I think we're afraid to talk about. You know, a lot of us have thoughts that we would never share with anybody. And I think everyone has those thoughts, you know, whether it be, I'm not even going to start to even go down the rabbit hole of what those could be, but you know what the fuck I'm talking about. But then there's the people that have no mental filter and then act on the things that they think about. And those are the crazy people in society that we know about. And then there's just the rest of us who fucking live with that shit. We're just like, oh, that's just a dumb thing to think. Okay, move on, you know. But I think we should start talking about that side of things because it's interesting, you know, because we're all thinking the same thing differently, you know. Everyone is the same, but different. So spoken word and the strength of it. Kanye West goes on Lex Fridman. Lex Fridman asks him questions in a way that I thought was amazing because he gave Kanye the platform to say what he needed to say, and I don't think Kanye felt judged. And, you know, he's going through a rough time, and he's going to say what he says. You know, the consequences of that are what they're going to be for him. I'm not him. You know, got to denounce some anti-Semitic shit, you know, like you can't be saying that shit. And I just, you know, I feel bad for his family. You know, they got to like watch him go through that. It's got to be rough when you publicly humiliate your family, which is probably going to happen here on Sucio Talk. So just stay tuned for that at least. The canceling of Sucio. I'll only say some shit on my subscriber-only content. That'll probably get you guys to get a membership. So that was cool lessons to learn about podcasting now because you can really get down to the truth. People are not. Before you used to interview people on late night TV, right? Late night TV has a bunch of sponsors. They don't necessarily want people talking about certain things if they have views that are different from what that person is saying, right? So now we have a platform, podcasts that have very niche people that listen to the show and think differently. And if they hear something they don't like, they don't necessarily shy away from the show. I want this show to have an open door where if you're a listener of the show and you hear something and you may not like it, I want you to reach out, you know, suciotalk@gmail.com or chef@suciotalk.com, you know. Let me know how you feel. Let's talk about it. Let's have an open dialogue. Once again, I know I said the live show's coming in fall. We're still in fall, baby, and it's still coming. I thought I'd have more of a semblance of a schedule at this point in my life, but I don't. But that's okay. Taking it as it comes. I'm living life day by day. Homie Night, November 28th. Andy Dubrava and Tiffany Ortiz of We Are Slow Burn. I mean, the crazy thing is now, the best thing that happened out of pandemic is chefs realizing that they had other options. And that we have hardcore chefs like Andy Dubrava and Tiffany Ortiz rolling around and doing insane food at different locations throughout the U.S. So, shout out to them. That's happening. What I want to do is use the website, suciotalk.com, as I'm bad at advertising. As a place where I put the pop-ups and where they're happening, you know. So, you know, sometimes you think when you do things, you're like, all right, nah, cool, I got a website, like that's all you have to do. No, fuck that. You get there is content now, but now I have a runway, a space where I could just put my own shit and not have to worry about it needs to be a podcast or it needs to be a blog page or whatever. It could just be whatever I want. So I think there's going to be a blog, maybe a weekly thing where I write down some knowledge, or maybe, not maybe, I want there to be people that write in, and maybe I take that content and put it on the website. People that want to get started in food writing, right? Because the only way to know is have other people read your things, right? And not necessarily people that study journalism, or not taking anything away from people that are journalists, right? Because I started this podcast. I'm not a fucking journalist. I'm a chef. And I'm not trying to take anything away from people that study journalism. I think it's an art form. I think it's special. It's important. But it's also important to have the perspective of someone who's done it. I think that's why this show is attractive to all of you. As far as having guests on the show, I need to schedule more guests, but I will say this week coming up, this week, I got Sydney Arkin from Bad Walters Ice Cream. Bad Walters was a pandemic ice cream shop when she got laid off back in 2020. She's now got a line out the door when she does her pop-up. I think it's 2 days a week. You pre-order. She makes a fucking ice cream. You go pick it up. It's fucking baller. So check her out. Bad Walters Ice Cream. Bad Walters. I think Walter's a pet. I met her at the chef's dinner over here, the indie chef's dinner over here in Oakland. Then we got Chef Mark Lieberman from Mago Restaurant. He reached out to me as Colombian Fine Dining. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow, and I'm going to the restaurant now. So I'm changing it up a little bit. I used to do, only at the studio, or when I traveled, I would do at the place, but it wasn't video. Now that I do video, I like to do it at the studio. But now I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm going to go to the restaurant. I'm going to bring my lights. I'm going to set up. I'm going to do the damn thing like it's a real thing. And I look around, and I feel grateful at all the things that I have, that I made it this far. When I sit in here and I look around at my motherfucking podcast studio, I feel proud of this shit. So be proud of your shit, man. A lot of you out there be like, I don't have this. I feel this way. First of all, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to feel a way. So just if you have feelings, just know that you're in touch with them, and that's a step. So just be grateful for that, and you're going to get through it. You'll be okay. The worst consequence is dying, right? So if you're not that, then it's not so bad, is it? Tomago Restaurant, Bad Walters. Coming at you. Also, Abe. I don't have his last name, but Abe writes for Broke Ass Stewart. He also runs Bay Area Memes. It's an Instagram out here for the Bay that's got, it's like Bay humor. You know what they're doing now? They're riding their bikes on the Bay Bridge now. Or people riding that like weird thing with where you stand and it's like one tire in the middle. It's like a big tire. I don't know what they call those things. Saying I forget. I never even learned the name one time. It's got like a race car wheel in the middle. It's like two. My head's the wheel. Step. I don't know the name of that thing, but they've been riding those things on the Bay Bridge. I'd love to be there while they're doing it because I go over the Bay Bridge a lot and I don't see them. So I'm filming all this week. I'll probably drop 2 of the 3 episodes just so I have another drop on the next Monday. So I could give you guys interviews, all the interviews possible. Still working on uploading the older episodes of the show. So at some point here, before the year's out, hopefully you'll get it. Was in Mexico for Dia de los Muertos. It was fucking cool. Went to San Miguel. I saw the parade there. Cooked a little bit. Dude, Mexican markets on another level. On another level. I'm telling you. The food. I was asking them, like, what season are we in? They're like, what are you talking about season? They just grow shit. It just grows. So imagine getting all the shit that we get here at the supermarket that says from Mexico there, where it's super fresh. And I gotta say, I was inspired. It was like a movie. It was like you go to the market, you get inspired. You're like, I'm gonna cook all this food. It was baller. And so yeah, it was a cool experience doing that. Came back here, cooked in Napa at Hoops. Shout out to them, Hoops Vineyard up there. And then been laying low ever since then. Trying to get the website together. Got the website together. Now we got some merch. We got some hoodies. SucioTalk.com. Shop Sucio. Support the show. Most of it goes to the people that are making the clothes, but it's fine. I just want to be able to get something out there to you guys, the people that love the show. And it's cool, man. They make it to order, so you're not, we're not fucking anything up. I'm not making 300 shirts at once or whatever it may be. I'm going to make a big order soon just because I want to be able to give them out, as gifts to people that have that I see have been on the show before, whatever it may be going forward, whoever's going to be on the show. So it's going to be cool to see. I can't wait to see the first time that I walk in somewhere somebody's wearing the Sucio Talk shit. And I didn't give it to him. It's going to be, it's different. If I give it to you and then I go there and I see you with the shit, it's going to be like, okay, but I gave it to him. But somebody actually buys it. So shout out to Rachel Frank and Justin McMillan. So the first 2 that made an order. Both chefs, one here in the Bay, one out in St. Louis. I interviewed him. I had him on the show. He's a chef of a restaurant group down there. CDC. So shout out to Justin McMillan. He was having a baby, I think, when I met him. So can't wait to see him again at some point soon in the future. Not that I'm going to St. Louis, but I will. Trying to go to Minneapolis. After talking to James, I'm thinking about checking out the scene over there. Time to get out to restaurants. Time to start eating out more. Brown Bourdain out here, just going out here, eating, maybe setting up the camera. Maybe we'll do a different type of eating show. Be good. Taking a break on catering for a second. It's not passionate about doing it. I just want to be careful about when I cook and why I cook and who those things are very important to me right now. So I'm holding it tight because I don't want to just cook to cook because I need to, because it's my job. It will always be my job, But right now I'm enjoying the freedom of not having a commitment, and I know how loyal I am, and if I make that commitment, then I'm fucking there from fucking sundown to sun up. I got this offer to go to Saudi Arabia. So your boy might be going out to Saudi Arabia to chef at a pop-up. They're like, you're the only crazy motherfucker. You're the only person crazy enough to do this shit. Trying to slow down on the swearing a little bit. So yeah, taking a break on catering. Food writers, thought leaders, send your blog post in to suciotalk.com. Happy to hear what you got to say. I'm not a very good designer, so my website's very base, but it's got all the information there. It's got a little bio. I didn't write that bio, by the way. I took that from another website that wrote a bio that I just randomly came up on. Sometimes I Google myself just to see what is going on. A lot of podcast stuff comes up now, which I'm happy about. So, go ahead. So, Sucio Talk, I know we slowed down a little bit. Okay, I get it. I'm working on it. Working on getting this show more consistent. So I'll say this one more time. And I'm going to say it next week and then next week until I find somebody. I need somebody. I need a team. I want to win. Do you want to win? Then fucking call me. Text me. Email me. suciotalk@gmail.com. We need to win at social media. We need to win at short form content. There's a lot of gem material that I listen to when I post the shows. And I want to build a team of people to just dissect it, take it, put it apart in different ways. Animation, comic strip possibly, written quotes. You know, that kind of thing. Somebody passionate about a project that wants to grow, maybe grow their portfolio and make millions. You know what I mean? Let me know. Email me. Passion first. You know, passion first. Family second. Fast and the Furious. Money third. Right? Is that how it goes? Other than that, shout out Lady Line Cook on Instagram. She's putting out some fire content. Shout out Kimchi Kids Podcast. Shout out Pancon Podcast. Shout out Chef's PSA. As far as I see it right now, those are the, when I look at competitors, I'm not looking to beat anyone's ass out here, like that. I'm just saying friendly competition, like they're doing the same thing I am. It's a food podcast. They're interviewing chefs, and it's cool to see other podcasts doing the same. And I hope that one day they can be on my show and I can be on theirs. We'll do dueling podcasts, That'd be sick. So shout out to them. I know it's a lot of work to do this right here. It doesn't seem like it. Just because if we work in restaurants, we're so used to the hustle and bustle that we don't feel like we're doing anything if we are not stressed, sweating, running around, confused. If we don't feel the emotions of fight or flight, you feel like you're not doing anything, accomplishing anything. And so big shout out to desk workers, teachers that grade papers, people that work at computer, people that answer the phone and talk to people all fucking day. Shout out to you, man. Like, we need you. Thank you for solving our problems. Thank the fucking garbage men out there for going to work on time and removing the garbage, like the shit that you don't think about. If everyone becomes an influencer or a YouTuber, then what the fuck? Who's gonna work? Like, shit breaks every day. So I suggest, you could be an influencer, that's fine. But you better learn how to fix some shit. Change some oil. I don't know how to fucking change oil. You know, I didn't fucking learn that shit. Sure, it's easy now. You go watch a YouTube video, you could do it. But are you willing to do that kind of shit? In 40 years, what does the workforce look like? In 20 years, what does restaurant food look like? If we are on the verge of using salmon that is grown in a lab, right? That's a sustainable way to eat salmon and trout now. It's going to be the way of the future with meat. Like it or not, the fact is, we're growing as a population, and the food will become scarce because the water has become scarce. Am I saying that right? Scarce? I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but just, just be aware of it. It's looming. So excited to have these three people on next week. Excited to still have somewhat of a fan base after I've not been so consistent with the podcast. I'm going to be honest with you. But as I'm figuring myself out, life is a journey, and I'm enjoying my journey, and that's what I give a fuck about. Because that's the only way that I can be my most authentic self, which is ultimately benefiting you, because that's what you want. You don't want some fake-ass Sucio up here doing a podcast because he has to. You want a Sucio here that wants to speak his mind and wants to listen to your thoughts and wants to discuss those thoughts in an open manner. So late night show, once again, late night show coming soon. It's going to be a live show where people call in. And I'm wondering about that. Like, do I have to get a new phone? I can't just give people my fucking phone number, man. People be crazy out here. Get my ass stalked. So let me figure that out. But that's what I want, a vision for the future. I don't know how long I'm going to keep the booth set up, because it's really not that comfortable for 4 people or 2 people for that. 2 people's fine, 3 people's okay, but 4 is pushing it, and I want to be able to do a lot. So let me see what I can come up with to change things a little bit. Thinking a little bit set up like a late night, maybe a table and then a couch. Will be a small couch, but we'd do it right. That'd be cool. But anyway, Sucio Talk podcast. Thank you so much. Shout out to everyone out there. Be safe. If you got anything, suciotalk@gmail.com or chef@suciotalk.com. Suciotalk.com now live. Go shop. Get a hoodie. Get a shirt. Get a hat. Do what you got to do. Support the show. Thank you so much. Support restaurants right now. It's a tough time. Prices are high, but just go in there, pay the price, do what you got to do. I know you complain about gas prices, but you need gas, right? Not saying that you need to go out to restaurants, but if you like that restaurant down the street, just know they're probably struggling right now due to just where we're at. It's so please go support them. Go out to eat. Do what you got to do. And all you cooks out there, all you chefs, all you servers, hosts, bartenders, everyone doing it every day with a smile on your face, we love you. Everyone loves you. Even though they may not show it. But thank you. Thank everyone. And, those people that are upset with somebody, and just know that it's not their fault. It's no one's fault. No one knows any better. Everyone should, but nobody does. So just be nice. This has been a Sucio Talk production by Sucio himself. So I'll give you those. I've been working on these right here. Boom, David Sucio on Instagram. Also, follow me on fucking YouTube. I'm trying to grow that shit. YouTube. Go there. Sucio Talk. YouTube. I need you. Spotify. Give me a fucking rating. Drop me a comment. Hook it up, P. I need you people. Please. It's all good. Oh, no, we don't want to take that one away. That's my right there. All right, that's it. Boom. Sucio Talk. Peace.